Hi everybody, my name is Eli Quirk and I'm a Student Development Officer and Success Coach here at Cape Breton University. So today we're going to start talking about preparing for your exams. So our first steps are talking about preparing for a busy week, looking at a better approach to learning. We're going to talk about some exam prep strategies. We're going to cover the 5-day study plan. And we're going to discuss how to study for more than one exam at a time. So, some quick tips as we begin are limiting our social media. So you can use different techniques or apps to limit your social media. Make sure to schedule, as well as studying, rests, breaks, and eating. Balance out your coffee, tea, caffeine consumption with water. And make sure to give yourself a cutoff time to wind down. I also encourage everyone to please plan ahead. If you know you have a busy week coming up, if you need to do any chores, want to make sure you have clean clothes for the week, give yourself some opportunity to schedule that in a few days before. Make sure to prepare yourself some quick meals and snacks for the upcoming week, or maybe do some meal prep for your lunches. You can look at rescheduling any commitments that you have coming up if you can, so you can really focus as you prepare for your exams. Also, take an opportunity to clear the visual clutter in your physical space. So giving yourself a clean workspace to start with can really lead to success. So, how do we prepare for a busy week? The first thing that we can think about is making sure to use a planner or our CVU email Outlook calendar. At the start of each week, look at your planner or your agenda or your monthly calendar and see what you have to complete. During busy weeks, it really helps to schedule tasks by the hour. So as we can see here, we have hour time blocks for preparing to study materials. We have larger time blocks for when we're doing some intensive studying. We're also making sure to do that prep that we spoke about before. So making sure to do our laundry on the weekends so that we're ready for the next week, picking up groceries and doing our meal planning. So I do encourage you now to pause the video, take some time to start planning out your Outlook calendar or your physical planner. Follow a consistent approach to learning. So we encourage everyone to prepare before your class. So make sure that you're skimming any new material before your class starts and make notes of any big ideas or things that come up. You also want to focus. Make sure you're there, you're attending, you're taking notes, you're asking questions. So that leads us into, as you're taking good notes, give yourself an opportunity to review and practice those. So practice over, reread things, read things aloud, and study after class. So check in with yourself after this and think about, can I teach this material to someone else? Would I feel confident doing that? Are my study methods really effective for the way that I learn? The next thing we're going to look at is our countdown to final exams. So we're approaching that 3-week period before our final exams, and this is really the time to focus on staying organized or getting organized. So I encourage everyone to connect with your instructors. Remember that office hours are student hours. Those are times that you can go and connect with your professor, ask about the content of your class, and see what the format is for your final exam. Organize your class and notes for systematic review. You can answer questions from tests that you didn't know the first time, and think about what you know and what you don't understand. So something that you could do to think about this is turning your subtitles of your textbooks into questions. So taking a heading or a subtitle in your textbook and turning it into a question and seeing if you can answer it can really provide you with the support you need to say, okay, maybe I don't necessarily understand what this topic is or what the question is when I turned it into a question. Set aside a specific time each day that you dedicate to finals prep. So even giving yourself a half hour, an hour a day to start getting ready and start to get organized can really be beneficial as it gets closer and closer to that exam period. So we have a few example activities here. You can see them on the screen. So one of them that really might be helpful is to really, again, we're going to consolidate and organize notes. We're going to create maybe analogies or acronyms, create flashcards or quizzes, things that you have more of an active role in using, right? Besides reading over our notes. We can use concept maps or charts. Take a look at those. Or make a list of 20 topics that might be on the exam. See if you could explain them to someone else or explain why they may be on the test. You can also prepare study material for a group and determine if there is material that you need more help understanding. That's the time when we're really going to want to connect with our professors. Moving forward, 2 weeks before your final exam, you can start focusing on mini reviews. So taking things like a mind map, which I'll have an example of in the next slide, kind of looking it over, right? Developing those summary sheets, building more of those note cards, creating study task lists. And then this is when we're also going to start developing our study schedules. So you want to block out time for each of your activities. And I'll be providing a document that'll have handouts, so you can sort of see here, that you can follow along with as you're doing this or watching this recording. So one of the things that the handout does provide is a 5-day study plan. So if you have a lot of material to study for a test, give yourself about 2 hours of structured time, maybe as you're starting to build up your learning, right? So space out your learning over a period of at least 5 days. So the 5-day study plan, you're going to divide material so that you can work on it in chunks. Each day you're going to prepare a new chunk of information and review your previous material. And you also want to use those active learning strategies that we've been talking about, and use self-testing techniques to really monitor where your understanding is. So sometimes we really want to, most of the time we really want to develop these opportunities to prepare ourselves for exams, because we know cramming isn't always effective. So as I said before, there's a mind map here that you can take a look at. So this might be a new strategy if you're a visual learner. So give yourself the opportunity to break out different themes or concepts into a mind map and see how they all tie in and relate to each other. Moving on to 1 week before our exams, this is where, again, if we're starting to structure that 5-day study plan, maybe we just look at how that's going to work and how that's going to happen for our first week. We're going to try it out and see what study techniques are working and what aren't. But then this 1 week before our exams, this can, again, be an opportunity to follow that study schedule. We want to focus on our comprehension, summarize concepts in our own words, teach it to other people. We want to make sure we're retaining information by linking new things to things that we already know. So again, using that mind mapping strategy, using study strategies like flashcards to see and test our knowledge, and make sure to take breaks. So for every hour of intensive study, please make sure to include at least a 10-minute break. There's information as well here that talks about Pomodoro techniques, so you can find this through our staysmart portal. And so take a look at that and what that means in terms of our time management strategies and how to really give yourself effective learning strategies. So during that countdown to final exams, you really want to take time to relax, right? Exam week might be the time when you're thinking, okay, I need to start cramming everything in. But this is when you want to really reduce your test anxiety by avoiding that last minute cramming. You want to look at your summary sheets, your mind maps. Again, go back to your self-tests, and your confidence is going to build up because you've given yourself this 3-week time period to really structure your understanding. Redraw anything such as a diagram or things like that. Revisit those things to see what can really benefit you. And really, again, make sure to get plenty of sleep, eat well, so continue to do that planning, and also give yourself some opportunities for activity. And nothing too strenuous. This might just be something like making sure to go outside and go for a brief walk. If you're someone who likes the gym, add that into your schedule. But maybe because you're going to be studying a lot longer, you may not be able to go for a few hours, but even giving yourself a half hour a day for activity could be really beneficial. So I do want to thank everyone for watching this recording and learning a bit more. Please do reach out to us as you're getting ready for exams when you need support, and also keep in mind on Tuesdays and Thursdays on our CBU's campus from 11:40 a.m. to 12:40 p.m., so 1 hour time slot, we'll be providing drop-ins and workshops for our students. So if you are a student on campus and you would like to meet in person, please do that as well. One final note before we wrap up about the handouts. I do encourage students to take a look at those for that 5-day study plan. If that's something that you want to talk about with me, again, please, you can reach out to us as well. My contact information is on the first slide, but just as a reminder, it's eli_quirk@cbu.ca. And we do look forward to connecting with you in the future, whether it be virtually or in person. So I want to thank everyone again for taking part in this workshop, and we'll see you at the next one.